Welcome back to the Abundant Harvest Homestead. I'm Papa Pepper, and in this video I have something I want to make absolutely clear, just so all the cards are on the table and people realize what they're dealing with when they're checking out videos from us. So first of all, I'm Papa Pepper. Now these are some of my little peppers. Here's a couple more of my little peppers. And here's the rest of them, okay? I have 8 children. That's part of where the Papa in Papa Pepper comes from. In fact, some of us just had some ghost pepper with our breakfast. That's where the pepper comes from. If you want a video explaining the name more, there's one over here. You can follow that link. So that said, I recently got a very interesting comment. And there's just some stuff I gotta point out about it. And I hope this makes sense to those of you who watch us on a regular basis. Now the comment, I'm just going to read an excerpt from it before I put it in context, but the second sentence of the comment said, "You're a wonderful homesteader, probably one of the best fathers on the planet." That's the first half of the second sentence in their comment. Do you want to know how they started it? Unsubscribed. Okay, this person wants me to divorce. And I'm not willing to do that, and I want to put the cards on the table and help you guys understand. So their full comment is unsubscribed. You're a wonderful homesteader, probably one of the best fathers on the planet, but I don't agree with your theology and would suggest you keep an open mind as we go into the future, with much admiration for your lifestyle though. So people are absolutely free to do what they want. I have no problem with that, and they're free to unsubscribe. And I'm glad they think I'm a wonderful homesteader and that they have much admiration for my lifestyle. But seriously, to say I'm probably one of the best fathers on the planet and they don't agree with my theology, the only reason I even care about being a father the way that I do is because of my theology. And I want people to be absolutely understanding this. At the time I met Mama Pepper, back in 2006, I did not want a wife, I did not want children. I was actually hoping to be dead by about 30, so I wouldn't have to try to accomplish anything in my life. When we wanted to be with one another, we walked into a church to get married, and at that point, God inserted himself as the foundation for our relationship, and in the process of trying to love one another, we found one to love more than each other. And because we love him so much, we obey him above all. So the two shall become one, and what God has put together, let not man separate. So, in our life, we're not going to divorce, but also you can't divorce who we are as people from our theology. They're so linked together. And what I find is, this is common. I ran into somebody once, they were watching me with my children, and they said, "Oh, you're lucky your children obey you." And I wanted to start a slow clap and be like, yeah, way to go, Mom. Like, seriously? I'm lucky my children obey me? See, people want the results, but they don't want to put forth the effort. Okay? That's the world we live in. Everyone wants to be rich. Not everyone, but you know what I mean. The culture generally wants to be rich and look flashy and have nice things, but they don't want to work hard for it. They want to find a get-rich-quick scheme or something like that, right? Just so they can have that money. They want the end results, but they don't want to do the work for it. And what happened is, as we began to look in God's direction and read his word, he began to change us as people. Now I'm no longer an alcoholic, no longer a drug addict, because he said I was unacceptable to him in that way. And I said, well, you got to clean me up then. We have a strong marriage. We're almost 16 years in this month. That is absolutely awesome. And with our children, boy, we believe God's the author of life, so we let him author life. So he's given us 8 children thus far. It was in 2014, so when Pinky Pepper was 3, our oldest, when he finally turned my heart to my children. Talks about that in the book of Malachi, in the Bible. Okay? And a lot changed at that time. And what we have is now parents, Mama Pepper and I, who are very intentional about the upbringing and the raising of our children, and that is a direct result of our theology. So if somebody's going to compliment my parenting while they disagree with my theology, they're asking for a divorce that cannot occur. It is because of what God says in how to raise a child, how to be the head of a household, how to be an appropriate, husband and father. That is why I am the way that I am, and my children are a result. Life is still living itself out, but where they are right now is a result of that theology. The amazing thing in this situation, of course, is, they start off with unsubscribed, pretty much I'm done with you. You're a wonderful homesteader, probably one of the best fathers on the planet, but because I don't agree with your foundation, with your theology, with the reason you live your life the way that you do, I'm done with you. But you should be open-minded. And this is where a guy I really love and appreciate ate beef for dinner. You have no idea even how much I love and appreciate this guy. But he comes in and he replies to that person and says, you say you don't agree and are unsubscribing while telling that person they need to be open-minded. Sounds like hypocrisy to me. If you were open-minded, you'd stick around and hear his point of view. And I don't know if this person who left this comment is still here. I'm not going to put their name up on the screen and put them on blast. It's not a personal attack. But what it is I want you guys to understand that's not how life works. Whatever you believe should come forth in your actions. Otherwise, as this guy, you're a hypocrite. Okay? If you're not holding yourself accountable to what you believe. The actions that we're living out that are causing the result in our life, and I'll get to something in a minute I think you guys are really going to appreciate, but they're a result of what we believe. That's why we're living the way that we do. So my comment to them was my lifestyle is the result of my theology. 100%. If you ask me what I want to be when I grow up, I've said it before, I'll say it again, a godly husband and father. Godly husband and father. Top 3 identities, right? So my lifestyle is the result of my theology. The two cannot be divorced. You may want me to divorce. I cannot divorce this. You cannot remove the foundation. What? Psalm 11:3, if the foundation be removed, what can the righteous do? If the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? Depending on translation. I said, I literally wrote a book called Why We Homestead. I literally wrote a book called Why We Homestead. And the point is that our faith led us here. Then I said, hope things work all right for you. None of us make it out of here alive. I'm not just planning for the future here, but I'm also planning to not make it out of here alive. That's what happens to people. So I have an eternal mindset. But the cool thing about Why We Homestead, and this is like a proof copy, it's all marked up from when I was editing it. I don't have right now the resources on hand to buy a bunch of these so I can autograph copies and send them out. Hopefully early next year I will. But if you're interested in this for yourself or to read it and pass it on to others, I'll put a link for the Amazon link in the description below. Okay? But Why We Homestead, I'm going to give you just laying the cards on the table. I'm going to read these chapters to you. So number 1, the path, not the destination. That homesteading life, living on a homestead, was not the destination for us, but it's the path that leads us to the destination that we wanted. Number 2, being together as a family, not my idea. So the being together as a family is the destination we wanted. It seemed like the best way to be together as a family, like you just saw me with 8 of my children out here, my 8 children, and my wife's inside taking care of some stuff. We're all here together right now. We wanted to be together as a family. That was the destination. Homesteading seemed like the path to lead us there, and it wasn't my idea. It was gleaned from things I read in God's holy Bible. And then I just agreed with him. And I explain more here. Okay, that's kind of a teaser. If you want to check it out, it's not that expensive. Feel free. It helps our family too. But then, number 3, a good way to be debt-free. Why? Because the less interest you pay, the less of your life you have to exchange for money to pay that interest. We haven't had debt since 2015. I'll get into some more of that in the future probably to encourage others, but God said that was a curse. And for us, the vast majority of people in America, it's a voluntary curse. You don't have to go into debt. Number 4, self-sufficiency and financial goals. Drop the cost of living, increase the quality of life. Number 5, being connected to the world we live in. Number 6, a trustworthy food source. That's becoming more and more important. Number 7, home-based self-employment goals. Okay, that's where you see, YouTube videos, books, other things. Number 8, just a little more freedom. Number 9, health. And number 10, the experience. Those are the chapters. But it starts off from the beginning that homesteading, why we homestead. Homesteading seemed like the path to the destination we wanted. The destination we wanted was to be able to be together as a family and focus on ourselves as a family unit in a way that we simply couldn't do if my wife was at work and I was at work and my children were at the public school system. Just couldn't do that. Couldn't do that. I go into some of that deeper in the previous video. So since we couldn't do that, we had to restructure our entire life. But the restructuring of our life, which led to me being a so-called wonderful homesteader and a so-called one of the best fathers on the planet, okay, their words, not mine, is a direct result of our theology, and the two cannot be divorced. And it's interesting too, even just like in raising children, I have a family whistle, and if I whistle that whistle, all my children will at least look at me so I can tell them who I want, or they'll all come to me. And I've had people be like, wow, you whistle at your children like a dog? And it's like, well, hold on. Whistling at dogs doesn't do anything unless they're obedient. So yes, all it takes is a simple, for me with my children to get them to obey, just like if you had a dog that was obedient. It's not, hey, get over here. Don't make me count to 5. 1, 2. That's how people raise their children. So then to them, that's somehow respectful. And for me, just to give a quick family whistle and have all my children, boom, right there, that's wrong to them. I don't want to play those games. I want to live a life that makes sense. And I have a firm foundation for my life, which is my theology. The things I believe about God and what He says. And that cannot be divorced from my lifestyle. Otherwise, I'm a double-minded man who's unstable in all my ways. So, you guys are free to unsubscribe. You're free to not be open-minded. That's fine. Can't force you to do anything. But what I can do is live my life the way that I feel it should be, based on God's word. And if that offends you, that's fine, because check it out. Even people who don't like God like the results of living your life His way. Okay, honestly, even if you're just going to not lie or steal because you love God, so you're not going to lie or steal, a couple of the 10 commandments, people are going to appreciate that even if they don't like God. So I don't mind it. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to divorce my life from my theology. And I have a channel just purely for spiritual stuff. Okay, this is a homesteading channel with a lot of random stuff in it. There's one just for the spiritual stuff if you guys would rather check that out. But if that's not your thing, we'll get back to some regular, more homesteading stuff on this channel in a moment. I just wanted to share that, That's where we're at. That's why my life is the way that it is. And if that doesn't make sense to you, that's fine. But at least I laid my cards on the table. Again, if you want to check out Why We Homestead, the link for the Amazon link will be in the description below. We'll see you next time. Papa out.